Hey, how's it going and welcome to Some Gaming News April 2024. We start with a few April Fool's news that were fun to hear, and we will even play some of them. One of the playable ones was the new limited time event for Dead by Daylight, where the survivors shrink and face against a giant Oni that can step on them. I bet someone liked that one a bit too much. Among Us also added the long mode, making crewmates long. And that's it. Minecraft added an update that lets you travel to the potato dimension, adding new blocks, armor and mechanics such as the grappling hook or moving blocks. Other jokes are, for example, Cyberpunk 2077 with its flop edition that had over 97,000 diskettes to enjoy the game, a Pokemon Sleep tournament, or Palworld with the announcement of their own dating scene with pals and humans from the game arriving next year for April Fools. Content warning took the internet by storm during its release. In this game, your objective is to go to the old world to record what's down there with your friends and survive to upload it to SpookTube. The game, besides being extremely fun with friends, was also completely for free during the first 24 hours after its release, and if you added it to your library, you could keep it. Gameplay of a cancelled Batman game appeared, and most importantly, it had a mechanic that was later used for other games. The mechanic I am talking about is the Nemesis system found in the games of Shadows of Mordor and Shadows of War. Thinking this was the original game that was going to get it made players think about how amazing would it be to have such mechanic with Batman as the protagonist and how the story would develop with such mechanic in mind. April 8th was the day the online functionalities for both Nintendo 3DS and Wii U stopped working. Some players decided to hold on to the servers as much as possible on some games such as Splatoon or Mario Kart. Amazon Prime released the Fallout show the past 10th of April, and it was well received by fans of the saga and people who made their first contact with the franchise through the show. That's not the only Fallout related news, as the game Fallout 4 also received a next-gen update for consoles, allowing you to play with a PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S version, as well as adding a few things such as a verification for the Steam Deck, some bug fixes and some new armors and weapons. Skybound Games started a crowdfunding to make a AAA game out of the franchise of him, and they will only start working if the goal is met. I am going to be real. I looked it up, and the only game I know that they've been a part of is the Telltale games of The Walking Dead, so I don't have high hopes for this. Rumors of who will give voice to Shadow in the third movie of Sonic the Hedgehog started after certain sources confirmed it to different news outlets. According to these leaks, the voice of Shadow would be none other than the voice of the Canadian actor Keanu Reeves. This all reminds me of that scene in John Wick 1 where he says, "People keep asking me if I'm back, and I haven't really had an answer. But now, yeah, I think I'm back." The game Stellar Blade released, and at a certain point you can find this graffiti near an art shop. Sony said this was completely unintentional and released a patch extremely fast, changing said graffiti for this one you see here. People took the first graffiti as an offense even after the apology, but it also shows how fast they were to address said mistake, releasing a patch in the same day. Escape from Tarkov got into some polemic after announcing the edition unheard for the price of $250, which also included many items which are pay to win, such as the NPCs, who would usually be hostile, are now completely neutral to the player. Not only that, but the PvE mode was also blocked behind this edition, making players mad and to protest against the developers because the PvE mode was originally promised to be part of the Edge of Darkness edition, which is now delisted, so it can't be bought. The Edge of Darkness edition promised all DLCs, but according to the developers, the PvE mode is not a DLC. So that's why originally it was only in the $250 version, but now, after listening to the players, the PvE mode will also be available for players who bought the Edge of Darkness edition once it releases. And that would have been all the news. Really, nothing happened this month. You can leave now.
Goodbye.